aware of the Alpha Jet. It has been the mainstay of Nigerian Air Force air power for the past 3-4 decades. We are all aware of its exploits in Liberia, Sierra Leone, in the Gambia, and many other international fora where Nigerian Air Force participated. But the Alpha Jet is now old. It's about 4 decades old. So eventually we have to retire that airplane. Already a replacement, the M326, has already been procured. We are just waiting for the first deliveries to come into the inventory of Nigerian Air Force. And the federal government procured 24 of these airplanes for the Nigerian Air Force. So we can accurately describe it as the second golden era for the Nigerian Air Force. Never in the history of Nigerian Air Force in the past have we had this number of platforms with this kind of capabilities and this kind of technology coming into the inventory within the span of time that is happening right now. So a lot of auspicious days for the Nigerian Air Force family going ahead.
So you are welcome back. For me, it is a welcome development. It's a welcome development. It's a welcome development because the more we have the capacity to decimate bandits, the better for us as a country. Because Nigeria is a sovereign state. So we need to police every inch of our territorial integrity. And I want to say that I'm particularly comfortable with some far-reaching decisions already made by federal government, by the president himself, talking about the idea of saying we must disarm every Fulani man, whether you call yourself bandits, whether in form of Fulani headers, whether in form of whatever nomenclature they go by, because they bear arms illegally and they are not qualified to bear arms. That is on one hand. Then the idea of saying we are ending open grazing, I want to say it's equally a welcome development because the era of open grazing have elapsed. In the 21st century, you cannot be talking of open grazing because we have seen that it's a subtle way of terrorism. It's an avenue for the Fulanis to invade people's communities, and we have witnessed a high level of invasion occasioned by maybe through grazing and all of that. So if you want to rear cow, I think it is clear. Go and ranch your cow. If you don't have the financial muscle to build ranch, of course, I want to say that the banks are there because we understand that there's a whole lot of value chain in cattle rearing. So they can come in form of cooperative, approach banks for financial credit, and in the long run, the banks, it could be consortium of banks anyway, the banks will leverage on the value chain to recruit their money. So I think the bottom line is they should go around their cow. But at this point, the state governors, the state governments, House of Assemblies should start enacting anti-open grazing laws to prohibit open grazing in their respective states. Hence, the president has talked about the issue of state police. That's why I want to encourage the National Assembly to expedite action in amending the constitution sequel to areas that have to do with state police, so that it can quickly be sent to State House of Assembly for their concurrent, so that it can come back to the president for presidential assent. Because once that is done and you have state police in place, I want to say that those state police will be the one enforcing anti-open grazing laws when enacted in different states. Because as far as I'm concerned, state police is the panacea to solving this problem. Because over the years, state governors have always complained that they do not command the security architecture in their respective states. A recent case in hand is one that came from the Zamfara State governor, where he lamented that in spite of the fact that he had been able to acquire some level of technology that enables him to know the movement and location of bandits in his state, but that he don't have what it takes to command the security architecture to operation, to dislodge, and to fight the bandits. But now that the government, talking about the federal government through the president, have come out clearly to say National Assembly amend relevant sections of the Constitution to empower states to start coming up with state police. I want to say that this we must do with a speed of light. But again, I'm particularly worried that even the forest guard that have already taken shape, root, after the president gave nod to it, most of the states have not actually keyed into this. So I begin to wonder, I begin to ask, what is their interest? Because I was thinking that the state like Zamfara, Katsina, Benue, Plateau, Kwara, Taraba will jump at this opportunity with the speed of light. However I look at it, they are at the center of banditry. They are the states that are mostly ravaged by this insecurity occasioned by banditry. But it beats all imagination why those states have not keyed into this. Because I think the president has shown some level of sincerity. Because we can clearly see example from Enugu State, where operatives of forest guard are armed. And the president came out recently to say, the National Security Advisor and give you a directive, go ahead, recruit more, train them and arm them. So seeing all of this coming out from the president, I think before we can blame the president, we must have seen the effort from the governors in addressing this from their own angle. Because for me, currently, those states, their governors are to be blamed if they are not keyed into this. As far as I'm concerned, there's no reason the states like Zamfara, Katsina, Benue, Plateau, Taraba, even Kaduna, because of Southern Kaduna, there's no reason they should delay even one day without adequately keying into this initiative. Particularly, Kwara State has suddenly become an epicenter of banditry. I expect that they should be at the forefront in embracing this forest guard initiative of federal government. Because for me, this is the best way to address security, since it gives the governors the leeway, the leverage to command the security architecture in their domain, in their jurisdiction. So the more they delay, the more they show like a radical attitude in embracing it, the more they expose themselves as complicit in the whole issue. I don't want to go into some unverified allegation surrounding some terrorists, bandits, Fulani militias who were arrested recently in Kwara State. I want the authorities to investigate before we start speaking to that. But I must say that it's worrisome that some bandits who were arrested by the military were pointing an accusing finger to government as to their source of harm. So it speaks volume of the fear of most Nigerians that some elements in the government are complicit. More so as we are still waiting for the government to give us updates as to who gave order for the withdrawal of those military personnel who were guarding the Kebbi school girls, or rather the school, before the attack and abduction of those school children. But as we wait, we hope and believe that the new Minister of Defense will do the needful by living up to the expectations of Nigerians and by equally living up to his own promise. Because he has promised that he is definitely going to probe into who gave the order and perhaps revert back to the public for public to know what actually transpired. I must say that the public are waiting to hear from him. More so, as I've equally said, that he's equally going to investigate the circumstances surrounding the disaliving of that Lieutenant General, who was obviously neutralized by ISWAP. But at this point, let me say a very big thank you for your time. This is Mr. Matu.